Hi everybody, I want to just kind of kill two birds with one stone. I'm going to talk you can actually see this video in the Voki directions for how to use the Voki, which I talked about in class, and then I'm also going to show you how to use the embeddable code in the Moodle. So the first part of this video is going to be about how to use Voki, but then mostly, and then toward the end, it'll definitely be about how to insert code. So this kind of just takes care of two things. Voki only gives you an embeddable code, does not give you a URL because it actually has to sit on a web page. Alright, so here we are. You've signed in. I'm going to jump over to my Voki. Just like anything else, your bandwidth always determines how fast or slow things are going to go, and as well you definitely should be using Firefox. I know I've said that several times, but I'm going to say it again. So here are all my different Vokis. As you can see, I kind of keep the same character most of the time. So I'm going to create a new Voki. Let's talk about that for a minute. Like, you can edit over and over and over again the recording or the message that the Voki says. Okay, you can keep editing the same one, right? You could just, that's where you edit this one. If I wanted to edit the PQ Voki, then this is what I would do, okay? So, but I'm actually going to create a new one. I created that one earlier, but got messed up. So, okay, so you might want to create a couple of, my point was, is you maybe want to create a couple of Vokis, one for each class, because you maybe have different messages depending on content and stuff. So, but once you see how easy it is to create a Voki, it's very funny. So some random one always comes in here. So you want to start a pair and just start building them out. This is like superstructure kind of organizations. You can kind of go in here and then pick from there, and then you can filter. So you can scroll through all of those. I'm not gonna go through each of those. You can certainly do that on your own. But I generally start with this classic. I mean, there's tons of really cute ones. So I'm stuck on this one, plus I know it, so it's just easy for me to show you. Okay, I'm also, because her hair is pretty much the right already. So you can tweak like the size of my mouth, make it a little smaller. Hopefully my nose is a little smaller. Probably not quite that skinny, all right, like right there. Okay, anyway, you can mess with all that stuff if you wanted to, and then of course I'm gonna make my hair somewhat like my color, I think, ish. I don't know what color my hair is. Okay, we'll go with that. All right. And then I can change the color of my lipstick if I wanted. Okay. All right. And and then and again, you can go through all these. You can spend hours doing that. Believe me, I know because I did. It's a really fun tool to play with. Okay, so just you can't break it. So just tweak back and forth those. It's really awesome. Well, let's get some clothes on her because I don't really, I'm not digging the shirt there. Of course, then I just go down to a bunch of strapless stuff. Okay, let's put that on. Not sure what that is, but we're putting it on. Okay, awesome. Okay, so then I also, here's what, if you want to put jewelry on or bling, I need to put some glasses on. So I'm just going to put those glasses on me, and I'm going to say done. Okay, that's good enough. And the next place I'm going to go is I'm going to go to backgrounds, and so I'm not in a mountain chalet right now. So again, you have these superstructure categories. There are tons and tons of great things to choose from. I just happen to know that there's sort of one in here that looks like a school, so that's why I choose that. So I'm done. And okay, so and then I can even change the color of my player if I wanted. If you don't want this sort of kind of Mildred brown, you can pick something a little more fun like Perquimans blue. All right. Okay, so you've built your avatar. You could spend hours doing that. Have fun with that. So first of all, I just want to say, one of the reasons I like Voki so much is you don't have to have a microphone to do this. In fact, typing actually has a couple of more of affordances. So for example, if I were to say, hello, my name is John, okay. Okay, I cannot spell today. All right, I am glad you are here. Or actually, why don't I just say my name is Lisa? That's kind of silly. All right, I am glad you are here. Okay, so for all of you guys that are dealing with ELLs, this is a great tool to deliver content in. Voki's great because it hits another couple of modalities, so that's really good. But it also can be translated into a different. You can actually pick. Now I want to pick and make it a girl with a Spanish accent. And when you say done, and you just go over here and play. See? Cool, right? Now, it may not be the best translation, I get that, so you might want to just go ahead and do the translation yourself and just type it right in. I've done that before, so I've actually taken, I wrote something in English and then translated it into Spanish and then put that in the Voki and it spoke. But you can just change it right here, and I think it does a decent job. It's probably not the best job, but it's still what a great way to communicate with some of your ELL students and their families. But let's talk about the microphone. So the microphone, of course, you want to record your message, okay? You can't change this language. This is what you record is what you get. So only in the typing can you do the language thing. But so as you can see, I just pushed record. I always wait a few minutes, okay? So don't start talking right away, okay? It takes a second for it to kick in. So I definitely wait till that yellow bar comes on before I start talking. Otherwise, they'll miss the first part of your message. You have up to almost 90 seconds, up to 90 seconds, 89 seconds to record. You can say a lot in 90 seconds, but I'm serious. So whenever you're done, you just say stop, or if you run out of time, it'll just stop. I always wait a few minutes, okay? So don't start talking right away, okay? Okay, so it's doing that because I have something in both places. So let me get rid of that so it doesn't mess it up too much, because it's actually reading both files, so that's interesting. So we're just going to close that. All right, so that's playing. So I'm going to do my recording, but I actually think I just messed up because I popped out. So let me just record again. All right, so I'm recording. You say stop. You say save. All right, so I'm recording. You say stop. Okay. You just give this title a name. So I'm just going to call it PQ. Say OK. It's going to save. It's going to save. All right, so I'm recording. It's going to play it again for you, so that gets kind of obnoxious. And then you say, OK, I'm done. All right, so I've made my message. I've got my avatar, so now I'm ready to publish. Okay. So this is when you name, this is actually going to be the name of the Voki, so you might want to say, period 1, Mrs. Hervey, or, whatever it is, just so you can keep them organized. So this would be my PQ Voki. Okay. Hopefully I didn't mess up because I named it the same thing. So my scene has been saved. So whenever you create a Voki, you always come to this page, okay? But I don't particularly dig this page because I want to show you where I think it's better to get your code from. I go back to my Voki, and that's just a silly thing, but this is really where all the work is done. So, and hopefully, so the latest one that you just made should pop up in this window, and then you can just drag these over and or double click them, and then that will be the one that goes on there. Okay, so here we are. I can actually go back and edit anything right here if I wanted to. I could get rid of it, whatever. But the main point now is where I get into the HTML piece. So unless you're actually going to be putting it on one of these other things, the really thing you need is the JavaScript. I always use the small player just because, and then you say get code. All right. So it's going to give me an embeddable code. Okay, this is basically computer talk. Okay, and it talks to the Moodle website. So you want to go down, and Voki's, unfortunately, there is no HTML block in this version of Moodle, so it's kind of nice. I can usually just set it up at the top of my Moodle, but you actually have to put it in a label. I know that sounds really confusing, but that's the only way I've been able to figure out how to make it work on this particular version of Moodle. So bear with me. So you figure out where you want, obviously I put my Voki at the top block because that's where I want it, but you can put them anywhere. So I'm going to insert a label. I know that sounds very counterintuitive, but that's just the way it is. And then, okay, so here we are, right? Now, you might just think you can just copy and paste that embeddable code right there and it'll work. Well, it doesn't, okay? When you have embeddable code or HTML code, you have to toggle over to the computer side, computer editor, if you will. This is sort of the visual editors because it's easier for you to use. But people who write computer code would work in this editor. This is sort of the text editor, but it's actually the HTML code. Okay, so that's really confusing and crazy, but okay, URLs, Universal Recording Locator, embeddable code is just computer language that tells it to make the Voki here. Okay, all right. So there's probably a way better explanation than that. But okay, so you paste here on the other side. Okay, I toggled over to the HTML. Now I can toggle back over to the visual editor, and I just want to show you this so you don't freak out. See, there's nothing there. Okay, I'm not quite sure why it's not there. If you came back to edit this, it would be sitting there. But for some reason, when you first put the Voki in, it doesn't look like it took. But hopefully, please don't make me a liar. It should take. And then we just gotta go and see it. I think it was in like black crazy 31 or some craziness. Please be down here, and I can see it's coming. So it might take a little bit to load, and there it is. Okay, that's it. And there she sits. Okay, and she'll work right here. All right, so I'm recording. See? Okay, it's that easy. So a little bit more about HTML code. If you want to embed a video, unfortunately, it's sort of the same. It's kind of the same thing, and you might want to insert your videos first when you're making your web page, so that way you don't have to go through all the code and figure out where you want to put the video. I know that's kind of confusing, but if I had a bunch of stuff here and I toggled over to this back end, there would be all this goobly goop, and you'd have to actually go and find exactly where you want to put that embeddable code. But if you have a YouTube embeddable code, you would just set it right there. Let me just jump to YouTube. This is becoming longer, but this is about HTML code, so let me do it real fast. Okay, real fast. I'm gonna get an embeddable code. Oh, Moodle questionnaire. Love it. Isn't that kind of ironic?
Hi, Erin. It's Kathy, and I'm in my sandbox course with.
Okay. So I'm gonna embed. Oh, this video is becoming too long. Okay, so you automatically just copy that, and then I'm like pointing on the screen. I've gone over to the HTML side, and I'm posting there. I'm just going to say video just to give it something there, and then say save changes. So I did this on a web page just to remind you when you want to do your videos on web pages. And you could put it on a label too, actually, and have it play on the front part of the Moodle. That would actually be kind of cool. I've actually thought about doing that for some things. So we're saving changes, and then there is the video sitting in the web page. Okay, so that was a really long video about Voki. It's great for ELL. You can record or type. Then you got to get that code, and then I showed you how to put a Voki into your thing. Now, you can also put the Voki on the web page with the same exact thing. You can embed your Voki here too. So I don't want you to think you can only put it in a label. If you want it to sit out on the course, you use the label. But if you actually want to just put it into a web page, you would just do the same thing, toggle over and copy and paste. All right? All right, I said a lot there. Okay, take care.